Hi guys, it's Andy from NismoTech, back again with another review for you. This time from the guys over at Thermaltake. They've sent this rather large box. It contains 5 fans and a controller, and it is the Riing Plus 14 Radiator Fan TT Premium Edition. So they do the standard case fans as well, which you can obviously go and buy. But both packs, whether it's the Radiator or the case fan edition, you can get them in a single, a triple, or a pack of 5. These ones are slightly different in their design. They're high static pressure, more airflow, etc. And obviously ideal for all-in-one liquid coolers and custom loops. You can also get them in the RGB version, which is what we've got here, or you can also get them in individual colours such as red, blue, white, etc. And obviously they're available in 120mm as well as the 140mm. So we're going to be taking a look around the box. We're going to take the fans out and have a look at it, show you the controller unit, and also load up the software and get it all configured, and show you how that actually works as well. So let's start then by taking a look around the box. So obviously we've got the RGB 16.8 million colours on there, 12 single LEDs per fan, PWM 140mm, 25mm thick, maximum of 27.2 dBA at 1400 RPM. Open it up on the inside and you can see the various different colour modes that we've got here. So we've got the RGB spectrum mode, ripple mode, flow mode, and pulse mode, which we'll be taking a look at in this video. Also it mentions about the software that's on there, and a nice image of how the fans obviously link up and work essentially. You can see one of the fans pointing through there, and then on this side we've got additional specifications, so you will find this information on NismoTech.com as well, but if you do want to have a quick pause of that, you can have a look. Also we've got a hydraulic bearing, life expectancy of 40,000 hours at 25C, USB connector for the interface, etc. And then moving on to the back, it comes onto the patented design. So we've got patented 12 single LED ring and software design. Supports up to 16 controllers, so it's a maximum of 80 fans. Not quite sure I know of a case that can hold 80 fans, but there we go. 7 colour lighting modes. You've got sound effects on there as well, and various other bits and pieces. So we'll take a good look at that, and then some further information there. So what we're going to do now, I'm just going to go and get this out, and we're going to have a very quick look at one of the fans. Just try and bring one out. So there we go, 140mm. You can see the way it's actually designed there to stop air from coming in, so it's really high static pressure. You can see the ring side of things going along there. We've got that braided cable with a PWM connector. So, like I said, what we're going to do now is going to go and get them all out, have a look at the controller, fire them up, and see what they look like. So before we go any further, I want to show you everything that you get inside the box and how to go about connecting the controller up to your system and how to connect the fans. So on the inside, you've obviously got plenty of screws available to you to obviously mount this however you may want to do it, on a radiator or on a on the side of a case or anything like that nature. You've also got some Velcro sticky pads in here as well, which is going to come in handy if you do need to stick this down anywhere inside your case. So you get everything in terms of that, as well as obviously the fans, etc. You also get this really helpful installation guide, so it's going to tell you what all the cables are along the top, as well as all the dim switch controls. Now this is going to be important if you are going to go and connect sort of 2 or 3 of these packs up, or you buy an additional Riing Plus fan and it comes with a controller. You can obviously bridge the 2 connectors or controllers together up to 16, I believe it is. So you have obviously got that capability. And in terms of the little cable that does that, if I just quickly find it, it's that cable there. So you've got like a micro USB connector on there, and then a 4-prong power connector on that end. In terms of where it goes inside here, it's pretty clear as to where it actually goes. It comes out from there, and then obviously then it carries on. So we've got that there. The next thing that you get is your USB header. Now the cable, as you can see, is bloody long. Not only that, you've actually got 2 micro USB connectors, or the connectors to go into the controllers coming out of that. So from one header, you've got 2 control control boxes on the end. First of all, I don't really understand why the cable is so long. It's a little bit of a pain, to be honest, but also having two means that you've got to try and hide one of the other cables. I think personally I would have liked to have seen just one cable, but obviously Thermaltake sort of probably got the idea that you're going to go out and buy more additional fans, so it's a little bit frustrating on that side. And I see the micro USB connector connects in on that side there for the control unit. The next thing that you have is your Molex power adapter, decent length, pretty standard, and obviously it's kind of like I assume probably a floppy drive connector, although the actual connector on the end does look to be slightly different, so I'm not quite sure whether a floppy drive power connector will work, and you basically just connect it in on that side there. On the bottom you have got your dim switch control, so again if you're looking at the little table here, it will just indicate as to where you want it to be. I've got it set for 2 at the moment, but that's obviously the standard configuration. So you've got that cable coming off there. And then obviously we'll go and plug one of these cables in as well, just to give you a bit of idea of what it will start to look like. So we've got all that information there, and then you've got your fan connectors along the top here. You've got 3 on this side, starting from 1 to 3, and then you've got 4 and 5 on that side there. In terms of the fans, obviously we've got black sleeved cables, but again, these cables are very, very, very long. And I'll say it's probably handy in a way, because our cable management means that you can route it around a little bit, trying to hide them. But certainly they're a lot longer than any normal fans, and you'll find as well that it's kind of like a USB connector that's on the end of these, rather than like a PWM fan. So the only way that you are going to be able to power these fans is literally by the control box. But you can imagine with this pack of 5, by the time you've actually got all of them connected into this control box, you're going to have quite a lot of wires coming out of it. So placement of this box is going to be quite crucial in terms of your cable management, and it's something that you're probably going to have to play around with quite a lot. But in terms of the user guide and everything that you get, it's fun. It's everything is there for you. So we're going to take a look at the software and have a look at the lighting effect. Okay, so we're now going to go and take a look at the software. And I must admit, after playing around with the software, it's actually really quite good. You can go through and actually select the 5 individual fans if you want to do such a thing. One thing that you notice is that when you sort of start it up, none of the fans themselves are actually synchronized, so I'll go ahead and show that to you in a moment. But first of all, I just want to concentrate on the first fan up here. So you can give it a name if you do want to do so. You've also got your fan performance modes up at the top here. So at the moment we've got it set to silent. We can also change it to PWM and also on performance as well. And obviously that will increase the fan RPM speed, and you can go in and obviously adjust this as much as you want and get it as powerful as you want, or like the software controller. But we'll just keep it on silent for now. On the left hand side you've got your RPM, and obviously the silent 50% there to show that we're in silent mode. And then down here we've got the lighting mode. So the first fan basically is the main control. If you want to synchronize, ring 1 is going to be the one that you're going to basically change. When you come over to ring 2, if you change this to copy color, that will then copy what you have got on the first fan. So we've got various different lighting modes, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to set all of them to synchronize. Obviously you can do them individually if you do want to have different effects on the various different fans. One thing that you can't do though is kind of copy a profile from one fan to another, which is a little bit disappointing. But we're going to go back over to this here, and as you can see we're on wave at the moment, so I'm just going to go full lighting. Basically that's no effects as such. You've got the colour mode, so you can also go in and select an individual colour depending on what you want, across all the fans that are there, or you can have that down as being RGB as well, so you've got all the colours there. The next one you got is sound control. I've not really had much chance to play around with this, if I'm honest, but you have got a couple of different sound control modes, and from what I know, they basically react to any sounds that are coming from the computer in terms of like gameplay, etc., or music. You've got the thermal mode, which is hopefully going to stay blue all the time. However, if you do start to run a little bit hot, that will then change to a red. And you have got a cross mode, which, as you can see, it just kind of goes around in a bit of a circle from one end to the other. And again, you can have that in RGB, or you can have that in a single colour, and you can also change the speed of it. So you can also have it being fast, normal, or slow. Going across to flow, and this is basically just going to flow all the way around, and it's basically going to cycle through all the RGB colours, and again you can also change the speed of that as well if you wish. You've also got done and default and colour down at the bottom here. I'm not 100% too sure what they do. There we go. So it basically sets it down to a default. You can, by the looks of it, change the various different colours, although I've not really had much chance to play around with that one. You've got the RGB spectrum, which is going to basically just go through the various RGB different spectrums. And then you have got a ripple effect, which, as you can see, you can change that to an individual colour, etc. And then you've got blink. Again, you've got an option of RGB or a single colour. And again, you can obviously make it dance or make it go very, very slow. So you've got lots and lots of different options on the software to control your fans. I like the interface, it's really good. You've got 5 profiles up at the top here. You can obviously then save that. Up at the top left here, if you have got more than one control box inserted into the ring loop, you can obviously then go and copy everything going across between the two if you do want to do that as well. Just turn these fans down here a moment. And then up at the top you have got language on there as well, and an auto update for the software. So it is really good, really decent bit of software, lots and lots of options. One thing that I'd love to implement is to be able to kind of copy a profile from, say, ring 1 and copy that onto ring 2, just to make it a little bit easier instead of doing the copy colour mode. But apart from that, the software is really good. Okay, so on to my kind of final thoughts about the Ring Plus 14 fans and the controller and software, etc. Starting off with the software, really good, really enjoyed playing around with it. It's very simple and easy to use once you get used to it. And you've got plenty of options on there, from controlling your fans, fan speed down to the lighting options, etc., as you would probably expect. I would have liked to have had a copy function to copy like a particular light setting and stick it onto 2 or maybe 3 fans, and then have 2 fans doing something different. Having that copy option as such, I think would have been a really good improvement on the actual software. But apart from that, it's very, very responsive, and it does everything that it needs to do. One thing that sort of bugs me a little bit about the whole kind of setup is the cabling. The fans have got mega long cables on them. For some cases, that's going to be really good and possibly really helpful, especially for cable management. It might help. For me, I'm not particularly good at cable managing, so to be able to sort of hide that amount of cable, especially if you're installing all 5 fans into your case, it's a lot of cabling. So I would have probably preferred the cables to be half the length, and also the USB header that comes off the motherboard and into the controller, you get 2 of them. And although I get the idea of adding more fans on, for me 5 fans in a case is going to be ideal. So I don't need 2 of these, which means that we've got a cable lying in there doing kind of nothing. So with that being said though, the lighting from the fans is absolutely fantastic. Lots of modes, loads of options, really bright, vibrant colours. The fans themselves, in terms of performance, obviously the high static pressure fans, they're going to work really well on any liquid cooling setup, also provide good airflow as well. Build quality on everything is absolutely fantastic, as you would come to expect. So yeah, bit of a downside in terms of the cabling, but that might possibly just be down to my personal preference, but overall I wouldn't have any hesitation in recommending this pack of fans to you guys. Like I said, the colours from them are fantastic, and essentially if you're going to be buying RGB fans of this type of nature, you're going to be doing it mainly for the RGB and the colouring and the lighting, but also you're going to get the performance from them as well. So hope you liked the video. If you did, please do leave a like and a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the fans. All the information will be available in the description, also on the website nismotech.com as well, and I'll look forward to seeing you in my next video.